If someone were to give the answer to their favorite sitcom and why, the cast will always be the top answer. The cast of a television series is one of the most important aspects when it comes to assembling a show. Bill Cosby knew this when he was casting for The Cosby Show. But in this case, it might have been more personal, as the characters on the show were based off his real-life family. Many don't know that Cheryl Lee Ralph also auditioned for the role of Claire Huxtable. Phylicia Rashad was chosen due to her ability to speak Spanish. Now, Cosby never really explained why he wanted a wife that spoke Spanish. Cheryl Lee Ralph isn't the only big name who almost secured a role on the #1 sitcom in the 80s. Whitney Houston was another legend that was very close to portraying Sandra Huxtable, the oldest Cosby kid. Here's why Whitney Houston's career was almost ruined by The Cosby Show. Clift and Claire Huxtable originally had 4 children: Denise, Theo, Vanessa, and Rudy. After the first 4 episodes of the show were taped, Cosby brought in a 5th child in order to show America a black family with a child away at Princeton University. Adding in a 5th child also matched Cosby's own family. The show's director, Jay Sandrich, remembers bringing in a bunch of teenage girls to audition for the role of Sandra Huxtable. So we gather in this room with kids from New York and LA, and they're all signing their contracts. And this girl we brought back from New York said to me, "I can't sign this contract." "Why not?" "I want to be a singer." "Yeah, so?" "I can't be in every show because I may be on tour." "Well, if the show is successful, it could help with your singing career." "Yes, but I'm going to be on tour." "Well, do you have a record contract?" "No." "Have you ever toured?" "No." "And who told you you could sing?" "My mother and my aunt." "Well, you can't sign the contract if you can't do every show." "Then I won't sign it." According to the book, the real reason Whitney Houston didn't commit to The Cosby Show is because she was under contract by record producer Clive Davis, who was grooming Whitney to be the next queen of pop music. Houston was then sent home and Sabrina Le Beauf was brought in to portray the oldest Cosby child, Sandra. According to the Washington Post, Sabrina said that when she originally auditioned, she was told that she was too old to play any of Cosby's children. Sabrina is only 10 years younger than the on-screen mother, Phylicia Rashad. Nevertheless, she was selected anyway because Cosby thought it would be funny to have one child who wasn't funny, or as he put it, a stiff. As the first season of The Cosby Show began production, Sabrina only appeared in 4 episodes of the first season. Being given so little to do, she approached Cosby and asked, "Have you forgotten about me?" Cosby apologized, even admitting that he associated the character Sandra with his real-life daughter, Erica, who was actually away at college at the time. Cosby urged writers to give Sabrina a bigger role, but it appears she was still dissatisfied with what she had been given. In 1989, during the show's 5th season, Sabrina participated in an interview with the Washington Post, where she did not hold her tongue. Working in television, you do not have the opportunity most times to do what you are capable of doing. Having been on the show for 5 years, I have not been able to do what I am capable of doing. I feel cheated that 55 million people a week watch something that is not my best work. The article claimed that Sabrina only did 5 episodes of the show that year. Sabrina did have another opportunity on the horizon, but producers wouldn't let her, telling her that she couldn't just remain on call for the season's final 6 episodes, but had to have full availability. I couldn't understand why that couldn't be worked out. I don't feel on this show I am working. You can't tell me that you did 25 episodes and I am in 5 of them. That is not working. You can't tell me we want you here and be here for us if I am not going to work. Sabrina's frustration behind the scenes on the show were understandable. She didn't want to leave the show completely, but given the opportunity to do something else when she wasn't being used on The Cosby Show. Whitney Houston knew the limitations that being on a hit sitcom would bring, which is why she left her audition, making it the right decision in the process. What's even more interesting is that throughout its 8-year run, The Cosby Show aired 201 episodes. Sabrina only appeared in 53 out of that 201, which is just a little more than 25%. Whitney knew she couldn't be in every episode due to her dedication to music, but if producers never intended for Sandra to be a big part of the show, one does wonder why they let Whitney Houston walk. Sandra was never supposed to be in every show in the first place. And on the other hand, Whitney most likely would have faced the same struggles as Sabrina when attempting to take on another project while filming The Cosby Show. Sabrina felt like she could contribute more to the show, and eventually when her character became pregnant and gave birth. However, Even with this gesture to include her in the stories more, she still felt like a background character. To see America's favorite dad become a grandfather is probably an event for a lot of people. That's what it's billed as. It is the most work I've had to do, the most challenging work. But still, it didn't feel like it was my episode. It was about how Elvin deals with being a father fainting. It was about how grandparents respond. It was about how Dad and Elvin get together. Finally, Bill added a scene about he and I because I had never been talked to. Eventually, Cosby did come to Sabrina's rescue as he allowed her to do an act in a play between her time on The Cosby Show. When The Cosby Show ended in 1992, Sabrina returned to her alma mater, UCLA, where she picked up interior design. It appears as though interior design has replaced acting as more focus has gone into this opposed to acting. Whatever part of the brain and the heart that acting feeds in me, design does the same thing. You walk into an empty room and little by little, you put it together and it comes to life. Just the way you build a character. Once it's there and people really like it, it's the same as the applause you get as an actor. According to IMDb, Sabrina has appeared in 2 episodes of Star Trek in 1993 and an episode of The Sinbad Show the following year. And in 1999, she reunited with Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad on an episode of Cosby. In 2004, she worked with her former on-screen dad one more time as she voiced the character Normal Bindlebeep in the Nick at Night series, Fatherhood. Sabrina's last screen role was 2009's The Stalker Within. Just 5 months after The Cosby Show aired its pilot episode on NBC, Whitney Houston's self-titled debut album was released in February of 1985. And we all know how her career went following the release of the record. The album, Whitney Houston went on to become a 13-time platinum, becoming one of the best-selling albums of all time. And it's not even Whitney's best-selling album if you were to include the Bodyguard soundtrack. With 8 Grammy Award wins, countless other accolades, over 200 million records sold, in a legacy that's impossible to duplicate, it appears that Whitney Houston made the right choice by choosing music over acting. Now, despite Whitney making the right choice, fans of The Cosby Show can't help but wonder what it would look like if Whitney Houston was a Huxtable. Stay up to date with the latest in news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Follow Comedy Hype across all social media and look out for original content on our new streaming service at comedyhype.com.